Good night, everyone. Good night, good night, good night. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I so appreciate you guys a lot for hanging out with me tonight. Tonight's topic, let me turn this down a little bit more. Oh, down. Oh, yeah. That looks, yeah, that's a little better. Okay. Good night, guys. Good night, good night, good night. Listen, come on in, take your time. Come on in, come on in. How are you guys doing tonight? How are you doing? Listen, super excited. It's a new year and we are ready. We are ready. We are ready for this new year. So let me just double check on something here. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay. I don't know if you guys got a chance to check out the topic and to see what we're talking about or what we're going to be discussing tonight, right? But as you guys come on in, I'll give you a couple more minutes to get in. In the meantime, I'll just go ahead and give a good shout out here in the comment section. Okay. Good night. Let me just make a note here. Good night. See, I like when I do it on my phone because I'm able to send you hearts and stuff and put hearts in the chat. All right, so let me put some hearts and kisses in the chat. There goes. All right, so welcome, guys. Good night. Good night again. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, as you come in, go ahead and hit the like button and go if you haven't already subscribed to this channel. So this is Nessa, your girl, self-confidence life coach. Okay. So my goal here is to empower you to become your greatest self. And a part of me doing that would be helping you to uncover areas where you have lacked in self-esteem or your confidence has been diminished. So we want to help you to reboost that confidence, rebuild that confidence, and restore back your worth and your value because that's what's most important. So my job here is to help you to become your greatest self, and that's one of the greatest things that I look forward to do. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, welcome to the Healing Your Silence family, where that's exactly what we do. We go into stuff, we have hard conversations that are hard to have with people, right? But as you can see, even from our topic tonight, it's what do you do with that friend that you want to save, that friend who is in love with someone who doesn't even deserve it? That's a hard conversation. And I know most of us, we could relate to that conversation because one of us have been there once or twice where we were that friend, we were that person, right? So as we go into it a little bit more and talk about it, let me go ahead and send off this information. 1 second. This is, let me see. How do I do this? Um, I'm still learning this stuff, y'all. Bear with me. Bear with me. Okay, got it. 1 second. Let me just share some information. In the meantime, small little commercial information. 1 second, y'all. Alrighty. So how about this? So I'll just okay. There goes. Thank you. So a little bit of background information on what is it that I'm doing or what is it that I'm here to talk about tonight, right? 1 second. I'm gonna have to. I already know I'm gonna have to go in and edit this. So this not might not just be a straight up live. This is definitely gonna be an edited video. So let's just slowly tap into it as we do this. Okay. 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 All right. So without further ado, let's just hop into it. So as you guys already know, there's times where you have a friend and you want to save your friend, this friend, you want to save this person from what they're going through. And the reality is, you can't save someone, you can't save anyone. You need saving yourself, right? But your goal really, you're trying to help this person who is going through something. You're trying to help them to better themselves. And in all reality, is that what this person is going through, you would like to see them come out of it successful. But the reality, you can't save anyone. You're not God. You're not Jesus. You can't do that. You can't save anyone. So, as much as you see this person that is a friend of yours and you would like for this person to be better, because you realize that they are loving someone or they're in love with someone who does not deserve it, you want to reach out to this person. How do you really have this conversation? How do you go ahead and talk to this person that is going through pretty much a heartbreak? Because the person that they're loving is not in love with them, which it's clear that they're treating them wrong and they're being hurt. So that's the reason that you're trying to help them to become better. Do not worry. We're here to talk about it, and we'll go into a little bit more details about it tonight. Okay. First thing first, I was that girl at one point. I was that friend at one point. I was that person who people were trying to save me. I was that person at one point. And having a conversation with me was very hard because I wasn't receptive. I wasn't ready to receive it. Because every time I would talk to them about the things that are going on and the things that I'm experiencing, I wasn't ready yet for the truth. I wasn't ready yet to deal with the situations. I wasn't ready yet to deal with all the consequences and things that's going to happen because fear took over. So I allowed fear without knowing it. I was afraid of the unknown. I was afraid of things that I couldn't see and I didn't know how things was going to turn out. So I was more afraid of that than anything else. And most times when people are going through stuff, you want to be there for them. You want to support them and you care about them. And there's nothing wrong with caring for someone and loving them and treating them right. The reality is you have to be there as a support system. That's really the role, is to be there as a support system to help them when they do fall, to be there to pick them up when they're going through a hard time, when they're going through a tough time. It's for you to be there to support them, to encourage them, and to help them get through the process. Because most times you could push someone and remind them and tell them that, listen, this is what you're doing, and beat up on them. But it's not until they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then they'll make a change and then they'll be able to do something different. But you could sit there and continue to convince them and try to encourage them to change, to do something different. And the reality is, they won't change until they've had enough. They won't make a difference until they've had enough. So not until you're sick and tired of doing the same thing over and over again, and you're sick and tired of the same thing because you're hoping that you will get a different result. But if you keep doing the same thing over and over, that's a form of insanity. So for you, you're trying to help this person because you recognize that they're in love with someone who does not love them back, which clearly that's a one-sided thing. That's abuse. That's mental abuse, physical abuse. That's abuse on its own. So for you to be able to recognize these things, but you're not able to help the person, or how do you really help that person that's going through this, is by being a support system. That's one of the best things that you can do. You can point them in the right direction. You could give them advices, encouragement, but you really can't save anyone. The person that you really need to save is yourself. That's most important, is you try to save yourself. You can't fix everyone. You could try to help people and point them in the right direction, but until they stop validating the reason why the other person doesn't like them or love them, because clearly they're giving love and they're overextending themselves to someone that does not deserve it, to someone who truly is not deserving of it, because they're not reciprocating. The love is not going back the same direction. So they're not getting the same effort and love that they're putting into this person. So you're here trying to help this friend. The best thing you could do for someone going through something like this is to be a supportive system. Help them, encourage them, but you can't change them. You can't save them because they're rooted in whatever is going on, because they have a soul tie with that person that they're dealing with, and it's deeper than just the physical. So when you're here on the outside looking at things, trying to help them, trying to save this friend rather, you're burning out yourself. You're being burnt out because this individual is not looking for your advice at this time. They just really need a shoulder to lean on. They want to hear from you and they're venting to you but they're not ready yet to accept it. They're not ready yet. Sometimes people have to go through that maximum frustration, that level of hurt or abuse. And many times there's a lesson behind it for them to learn because it's a part of their path. It's the direction that they're supposed to be going in. And we're just here as support system because we're all trying to figure out life. We're all trying to figure out which direction to go, what to do, and where to turn for help in time of need. That's exactly what we're all here trying to figure out. So going through this, it's like, for example, I was speaking with a client, and one of the things that they wanted to find out from me is, do you think this is the final discard? And I think that question alone says a lot. If you want to know if this is the final discard, that's telling me that, well, I mean, I do know, but you're asking specifically about the final discard, which means you've gone through many discards already. You have been programmed to deal with discard. And once you've been dealing with these discards repeatedly over and over, you're increasing your tolerance level. That's really what's happening to you is the more you continue to accept this abuse, the more you continue to accept this disrespect, because clearly this individual does not value your time. They don't respect you. They don't think that you're important. And they don't have the decency to let you know that the relationship is not working out and they want to move on. Instead, they like and they enjoy the benefits that comes with you. So in reality, it's not that the discard phase is finished because they always want to leave a door open. If they don't break it off with you and end the relationship and move on like they're supposed to, that means they're leaving a door open so they can come in and out as they please. And that's when their new supply run dry or they don't have supply, then they'll just come back to you because they left that door open and left you in pain. They left you in brokenness and in damage and pain. So here you are trying to figure out exactly what's going on here with this pain that you're feeling and what's going on with this brokenness while this person is out rampaging with other supplies and looking to come back to you to interact with you at a later time. I know it's difficult and I know it's hard sometimes hearing these conversations, but it's actually necessary. Not a lot of things that we want to hear sounds nice. Not a lot of things that we need to hear make sense at the time, right? But it's very important. So if you're going through a discard phase, it simply is telling me that your self-esteem is at its lowest. Your, wait, let me see. Okay, sorry. Your self-esteem is at its lowest, and that's what you're dealing with. So in order for you to become bold and become more confident, you're going to have to sit down into some of the things that you're dealing with and face your childhood traumas. Face the traumas that you're going through, because that's what's going to help you to better yourself. That's what's going to help you to become your better self. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some deep meditation. It's going to take some deep encouragement. It's going to take some deep focusing in order to help you to become your better self. But if this is something that you want, it can be done. It will be done. It takes time to get it done, and you can achieve this. Okay, don't be discouraged that it's not going to get done. Don't be discouraged. It will get done, and you can do it, and you will do it. It's just like going through rehab. I think it's a bit warm in the room. It's just like going through rehab. When you're going through rehab, you're going through rehab because there's a need for something. You're going through something that's harder than what you can deal with. You're not able to manage this on your own. So you have now partnered with experts in order to help you to go through the addiction phase that you're facing. So in order for you to find out what's going on with this discard, is this the final discard with this person? Is this it? Are they going to be coming back at a later time? Did they just put me on the shelf or park me up? No, you don't need to sit around to wonder if someone just parked you up and put you on a shelf. No, you're worth more than that. You're valuable. You're more valuable than that. You're not someone who needs to be sitting on a shelf parked up waiting for someone if they choose to recycle you at a later time or take you down off the shelf because they're in need of you. That's not who you are. So in order for you to restore and to rebuild your confidence, it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of effort, but it's going to take a lot of you. You're the only one who can make this decision. You're the only one who could turn things around. You're the only one who could do this. So if someone is not loving you and treating you the way that you're supposed to be be treated, this is a clear indication for you to walk away from this person, that you should leave this relationship that does not serve you, that's not healthy for you, and it's only deteriorating you and breaking you down more and more. It is a part of your responsibility to do the things that's best for you. Okay? 1 second. Thank you. Sorry about that. I had to grab something really quickly. But like I was saying before, this is something that you're going to have to work on because it's most important to you to restore your self-esteem and your confidence, right? So you could try to help a friend as best as you want and try to tell them whatever to do. The reality is they're not going to do it unless they're ready to do it and it's necessary and it's the time for them to do it. You are the support system, and that's all you could really do for someone who's going through something that needs help and is there. You know what's really happening? And I'm gonna just be real transparent. They're mentally checked out. That's the truth. Someone who does not recognize that someone else does not love them, they're mentally checked out. They're not really there. You see a body, but it's empty. There's no one home. Like you would say, the lights are on, but no one is home. And that's the reality of what's happening in this situation. When you try to tell someone, hey, this is what's going on, you're hurt, the person is hurting you, and so forth, they're not getting it. Not because they don't want to get it, they're just not ready to receive it. And they have not gotten that shock of their life to make the change. That's really what it is. It's really not a hard thing to figure out. It's not. But the reality is that's really what's going on. They're mentally checked out. They have increased their tolerance level to accept abuse so much because each time this person discard them, each time this person hurt them, their tolerance level increases. And the more your tolerance level increases, the more you become numb, the more you are physically withdrawn or emotionally withdrawn from a situation. So you're no longer feeling, you're no longer feeling that softness, that gentleness. You're actually feeling the pain because you've become so addicted to the pain. And that's one of the reasons that you do stay longer in these relationships. You do stay longer because you've become so addicted to the pain. Let's use a rehab example, right? Someone who's addicted to drugs, someone who's addicted to smoking, or even someone that's addicted to alcohol. These are different type of addictions, and heroin, we could go down the list of things, right? But someone who's addicted to these things, what's happening to them is that they have gone to a level that feels like there's no return. And each time they try to come out of it, it gets harder. It pulls them back in much stronger. It pulls them back in, it reels them back in each time, and it gets harder and harder and harder the longer they stay in it. What will happen is that that first hit, if they could remember the first time they got high or started this addiction, the first time, they now want that fix again. They now want to get that high. They want to go back to that original feeling that they had before. That's what they're trying to do. So it's the same thing in a relationship. When a narcissist or a toxic, unhealthy person, what they'll do in the beginning is they'll put their best foot forward because that's what everyone does. Everyone want to show off their best qualities and they, market themselves and advertise who they are. But it's not long after before that mask starts to slip. But if you're not confident in yourself and know your value or your worth, you won't even know when the mask is slipping. You won't recognize the red flags. You'll see them and it will have a funny feeling or maybe a gut feeling, and you'll start to ignore it. And you just maybe brush it off a little. Don't. Don't ignore that feeling. It's there for a reason. And it's there to help you to make a conscious decision. Do not ignore that feeling. It's necessary. You need to have that feeling and you need to go through that experience because your body feels, your body is attached, right? It's connected. So you want to make sure that you're connected to nature and connected to your body and your emotions and your feelings. They're all one. They're attached. They're a team. They work together. Going through a rehab center, that's what people who cannot control that addiction and they've been dealing with this addiction for a long time because they've been spending a lot of time chasing that high, chasing that fix, trying to get back to that first hit. They won't never get back that first hit because it was just that spur of the moment that got them hooked and they wanted it more and more. The same thing with the narcissist. You want it more and more. Someone who's addicted to drugs goes to a rehab center or goes to the professional to seek help because now this is not something that they're able to do on their own. So they have to seek professional help and get someone who is a licensed professional expert to help them go through this addiction that they're facing. My thing is, this is something that's consumed their body and taken them over, and they're not in control of their bodies anymore. They're checked out. They're mentally checked out. They're physically there, but they're mentally checked out because of what's going on with them. You want to help someone, but they also need to be able to, they have to want the help for themselves too. It's not just you. You can't be the only one who wants to help someone. They have to want to help themselves. And when they go to rehab to get help, it's the same thing as dealing with a narcissist. Not a lot of things you're going to be able to manage on your own. Not a lot of things you can deal with by yourself. And the people around you that's watching you suffer and seeing you suffer, they want to see better for you, but you have to want the help. You have to want to be able to say, you know what? You have to be able to say, listen, this is not working out for me. This is more pain than it's hurting me. This is not bringing me any good. And you have to make that decision. It's a decision. Because to get up and quit cold turkey and walk away from a narcissistic or toxic person, it's not easy. It reels you right back in. It reels you right back. So you have to seek the help necessary in order to get over what you're going through because it's not something easy. It's not. It's a serious addiction, and professionals that's at the rehab centers know the triggers, know the areas that they need to focus on in order to help you to become better, in order to help you to go through the process. One of the hardest things to do is to break a habit. It takes 21 days to break a habit, at least 21 days. But also what that does, it creates repetition. The more you do something and be repetitive at it, you repeat that thing over and over, it helps you to better yourself. It helps you to now create this as a part of your routine, as a part of your day-to-day activity, right? So going to the rehab, they're going to get you into activities to distract you so you're not going for your addiction. You're not running to it. That's one of the reasons we say no contact, because no contact is what helps you to stay away from this narcissist. When you go no contact, it means do not stalk them on social media. So that's why we'll talk about some of these things. Don't stalk their social media page. Do not partake with flying monkeys. And flying monkeys are just people who leave from one person with information and go to the other person with information so they could bring it back to you to create triangulation. And most time the flying monkeys are working with the narcissist because they're seeking information from them and they're looking to gather as much information from them as possible so they could bring it back to you to keep you caught up and to keep you tied down with this person. Do not entertain flying monkeys. You do not want to have any parts of them. Okay? They're not your friend. They might sit around and talk with you, but they're just there to gather information to bring it back to the narcissist. That's why going through rehab is important. Go no contact. No contact. This will help you to eliminate some of the pain. You don't want to know what they're saying because the reality is they're already saying things about you. They're already talking nasty about you. They're already saying things to people that are not true. It did not go like that. And they've already created a story because let me tell you something. Narcissists, toxic, unhealthy people, one of their secret, one of the things that they do that could be a secret, but it's not a secret because I'm going to talk about it right now, is what they'll do is before they make a move, they'll stalk your social media page. Some of them, okay? They'll stalk your social media page. They'll scope you out. They'll watch you for weeks, months. They'll study your style and study things about you so that they can try to get to know you. And it's not to get to know you because they care about you and they want to do right by you. That's not what they're trying to do. They're trying to get to know you so that they can hurt you. So most times you're here wondering why is it that you love this person, or this person came in the beginning showing you that they love you? It's not love. It's just an addiction. They they pre-planned your hurt. Your hurt was pre-planned. They knew exactly how they were going to hurt you, what they were going to do, and how it was going to happen. And oftentimes, what will catch them off guard is that they're strategic about how they hurt people. So you might think that, well, they didn't have social media to monitor me or to watch me at the time. It doesn't change their routine. It just changed the victim. The victims are the ones that's really changing, not their routine. And that's one thing about them. They're very consistent. They're very consistent. And that's something I feel like we as empaths, right, can learn a thing or two from them. And I'm just being honest. They're consistent in who they are as unhealthy, toxic, narcissistic people. They show up every day being disrespectful. They make they give jabs, they give disrespect, they say insulting, give insulting comments to you. They hurt you repeatedly. They don't keep their word. They are consistent in who they are. The reality is, we want to change them. We want to see something different. We want to look at them in a different light. And the reality is, that's not who they are. You can't ask them to be somebody who they're not, because there's going to be a failure. You're going to spend your whole life trying to change this person, trying to bring them to somebody or change them into somebody that does not exist. The sooner you get off that roller coaster, the sooner you stop trying to change this person, is the sooner you move on with your life and open up an opportunity for someone to come into your life who's truly going to love you, who's truly going to support you, and to be there for you in all your times, not just sometimes, but someone who's very intentional about being with you. And that's when you know that you're walking into love. That's when you know that you're walking into someone who truly cares for you, not just someone who's using you. If you're with someone that you truly love and you're in a relationship with them, and that person doesn't love you back and is there constantly hurting you, that's not someone who loves you. That's someone who's using you. The more you continue and allow people to use you, is the more they will use you. They will hurt you because you're allowing them to do it. I didn't know what it means to allow someone to do it, to do stuff to me, until I realized that I don't treat myself like that. That's not what I want for me. So why would I allow you to treat me that way? And that's when I realized I was enabling things, and I was an enabler for stuff like this. I once was that friend that you wanted to save me. I looked like I needed saving. I once was that friend. But it wasn't until I was really sick and tired of being sick and tired of doing the same thing over and over, hoping for new results, hoping for things to change. That's when my change came. Sometimes God will put you in position to force your hands to do things that you weren't ready to do. He will force your hands to do it and put you in position that that's the only choice that you have. And you have to make a choice. Most times people don't make it out of these situations alive. They don't. So don't think that being with a narcissist is someone to play with. Toxic people, they are mentally unstable. And in the Bible, in James 4 or 7, I believe, it tells you that a man who is unstable, a double minded man is unstable in all his ways, not some of his ways, but all his ways. So if someone shows you affection or love today and then tomorrow they take it back from you, they're not showing you love to begin with. That's not love. Love doesn't play around with you. Love doesn't give you mixed signal. Love is not confusing. That's not how it goes. But it's up to you to make that decision. It's up to you to decide, what is it exactly that you want to do for yourself? What is it exactly that you're trying to accomplish? What is it that you want to see for yourself? And that's what's going to help you to make a better decision, because you're wasting your time. You're wasting your life away. And this person is not for you. This is not it. But I know why you're there so long. You're afraid. I know. I was afraid too. I was afraid to leave. What I was afraid of, I don't know. I didn't like the hurt, but I became addicted to it. I didn't like the disrespect, but I became addicted to it, and I was doing it for a while. And that was one of the things that I had to get a reality check on, because I didn't want to continue to do this anymore. This was one of the most unhealthy, toxic part of my life, because I recognized that I was beyond repair. I was beyond saving, and I didn't think I could be saved. I didn't think I could have been saved from what I was going through. But 2018, I made a conscious decision 2018. It wasn't my final decision, but it was a conscious decision and it was necessary. My light bulbs start to come on at that time because the only thing I saw was either a coffin or a jail cell. I couldn't see anything else. Every time I opened my eyes, every time I closed my eyes, that's all kept playing replay in my head. It was that bad. It was that toxic. It was that unhealthy. It was horrible. It was worse than a horror movie, but I was exposed to it. And I wasn't the only one who was exposed to it. The narcissist was exposed to it too. He played his role. The children were exposed to it as well too. They were born into this thing, right? So a lot of times we don't realize that the choices that we're making and the reason that we're staying, it's not the most beneficial reasons. It's not. It's not the healthy reasons at all. But I made that decision in 2018. I believe it was around April 1st, 2018. I decided I didn't want to continue doing this anymore. So everything I started to do at that point was towards my mission of getting out of this thing. And here we are, 2023, still on this topic, right? Still on this topic, out, but still on this topic. Why you think this is something that affects you? It affects your life. It affects you in many ways, but it also shapes you, it strengthens you, and points you in the direction where you're supposed to go. 2018, I decided I'm not doing this anymore. I started going to church in May, different from what I was doing before. I started going in May because when you're with these people, they shift the things that you're supposed to be doing or the things that you normally do. You're not interested in your identity and who you are as a person anymore. Started going back to church and I started to feel free. I remember talking with the elder at the church and telling them about what I was going through. And they told me, why don't you invite him here? And it's just almost like they stabbed me in my heart just by saying that to me. Bring him here. I said, no, this is my safe space. I don't want to bring him here. Like, this is the only place I felt safe. It got worse. It got worse. He would argue with me, threaten me, carry on. Even told me I was sleeping with the pastor. Listen, it only got worse. But I was determined. He threatened to take my life, to unlife me. Yeah, he threatened to do that. And I remember just, having my mom help me with the kids. And I remember I had to show up to work. I slept in my car. I sure did. I went and bought because I just grabbed whatever I could grab really quickly and I just was out. I was just gone. And I remember sleeping in my car, going to work. And I worked at the bank in my suits and everything. And mind you, I grabbed whatever I could, okay? Because I need to show up to work. Because nothing was going to come between me and taking care of my children and doing what I have to do, okay? So I remember I would sleep in the parking lot in my car near the gym because I love going to the gym. It's my therapy. I love it. Okay. And I remember sleeping in my car near the gym, in the gym parking lot. And I'll roll the back seat down, it's a SUV, so I was able to lay it down. And I bought pillows at the store from TJ Maxx or whatever. I bought pillows and I had a blanket, whatever. And I made a bed in my car and I slept there. I was determined to get out of this thing. I was determined to not continue like this anymore because my safety was in danger. My life was constantly in danger. And I stayed there. I showered and went right to work and grabbed me whatever I needed to eat, hung out in my car and chilled. I went back to sleep. Like I had to do what I needed to do. But guess what? It wasn't over at that time. That wasn't the end of it. I still went back. I still went back to this individual trying to see if we could figure it out, if we could work things out, if we could figure it out after he's threatened to take my life. I went back to try to see about figuring stuff out. Now, clearly, there's something going on with me. Clearly, It wasn't about him. It wasn't about him. It really was about me. I was mentally in an unstable place. I was not mentally prepared to take on life the way that I had to take it on. And I think that's what drives my mission now more than anything else, is to be a voice of reason for someone else who's going through something. Is to be in a position to be able to help someone else who might be going through what I'm going through, or might have experienced what I went through and don't know if there's a way out, or don't know if they'll be able to get out of this alive. So it has really become a passion for me because I know what it's like. I went back, and I went back to seeing this man destroy the house. Because before that, 2018 January, he actually destroyed the house, broke it down to pieces. And here I am, April, saying that, let's try to figure it out. And still going back to this person. And that's what happened when you're mentally damaged and you're mentally checked out of what reality is. It is not something easy to deal with, and you cannot do it on your own. You have to seek professional help. You have to take care of your mental state and your well-being. But I was strong for the world. I put on a strong face to go out in the world, to go to work, to show up. But I was broken and damaged on the inside. Broken and damaged on the inside. I decided I wanted to change my eating habits, which I did. And I decided to start working on my well-being. So in order to rebuild my confidence and start to restore myself, I started to do things different. I didn't want to do this anymore, but I was still there. But I was checked out in every way possible. So all the work I needed to do had to start within. I started going back to the gym, working out, taking care of my well-being, taking care of my health, exercising, and just putting my time and effort into it. I lost a lot of weight doing this because I was almost 300 pounds with this individual, almost 300 pounds. And all he kept telling me, oh, I love you the way you are. No matter how big you get, I love you the same way. Nothing changed. That's not love. My health is at risk. My health is at risk. But guess what? That's how they manipulate you and control you and to keep you bound. You are not bound to this thing. You are not staying with this thing, this toxic, unhealthy thing. That's not what you're here to do. That's not what you're really here to do. I had a whole mission plan, okay? I had a whole mission plan, a suicide mission, okay? So I know what you guys are going through, and I know some of the things that you guys are experiencing. It is not something easy to deal with, but it's not the end. It's not the destination. This is not what the plan is for you. It's not. I remember, because of what I was going through and how devastating, and I couldn't see a way out of it. And I love watching Chicago PD. That's one of my favorite shows, and The Blacklist. I love watching these shows, Chicago PD and The Blacklist. So I remember he would watch it with me sometimes, but I guess he saw how I responded to the shows and how I was just into it. And it's like an adrenaline rush for me. I enjoyed it, right? I remember him saying to me, oh, if you ever become a police officer, that's the end of it for us. Like, we're not going to be together no more. That's the end of it for us. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I took that as a promise. And I think it gave me something to look forward to when he said that to me. I wanted to do something more now. I wanted to do something else because you just threatened me. And you told me that if I became a police officer, that's the end of us. And I looked at him and I said to him, oh, really? It's going to be that easy to get rid of you? Okay, then. All right, let's do it. I went and I applied for the NYPD officer exam. I got a 92 on the exam and I started to train. That's when I started to take off the weight because I started to become disciplined. In 2018, when I just started, I decided to change my eating habits. Into 2019, like I said, I started training more because I took the NYPD exam, got a 92 on the exam, and I was like, all right, let's do this. Exercising, my eating habits changing. He saw how disciplined I was and dedicated, focused on doing it. And I'm going to be honest with you, that was my cop out. That was my cop out. I'm going to be honest, because I saw that as a ticket, as an escape route. That was my suicidal mission. That was me taking an easy way out and just not wanting to be here anymore because of all that I've been going through and all that I was experiencing with this individual. I didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't want to continue to deal with what I was dealing and continue to face this anymore. I did not want to do that. So I was that girl. I was that girl that someone tried to save and someone tried to do something for me and try to be there for me. I once was that person. But I'm gonna be very honest with you. When he dared me and threatened me that if I became a police officer, that's gonna be the end of our relationship, I took that as a promise and I made it my mission to be a part of the NYPD. I trained. I was running miles with my kids and just running on the treadmill. I would be there working out. I would go down to the police department and I'll interview the detectives that's there and talk with them. I was on a mission. I went back to college. I sure did. I went back to college to finish up my degree. And I remember he would cuss me out, telling me he's not watching our kids. I need to take my kids. And I remember asking my professors at school, can I bring my babies with me to school? And they told me, yeah, bring my babies to school. And I did. I brought them babies to school with my backpack and my babies with me. And we went to school together. They were sitting in the seats right next to me. My teacher, my professor allowed us to sit in the front of the class because I want to be in the front of the class because that's how I learn. I cannot be in the back. I'm sorry. It's not for me. Okay. But I went through school with my babies and I did it. I did it because I knew I could do it. I believed in myself. I was doing it before he came into my life and threw me off everything that I was doing. So I went back to school because I wanted to leave out of this thing with something. Okay. My degree, my dignity, my self worth, I had to find it deep within to pick myself back up and to get back on track and get back out here to become my greatest self. It was not easy, but I had to do it because it was necessary. I brought my babies right along with me, took them to school, and got my degree together with my babies. Okay. So it's no joke when you're dealing with these monsters. They rip out your soul from inside out. But the reason I'm still sitting here today, thank you. Good night, my sweetheart Chelly. Feel better, my love. The reason that I'm sitting here with you tonight, guys, is really because God had a different plan for me. He had a different mission for me. And good night, baby girl. And he knew that the mission, the journey, I needed to be here to tell someone else, to help someone else who's going through something and don't know which way to turn, don't know what to do. He knew I was going to be here to tell my story. I'm telling you guys, I was almost excited. It sounds crazy, but I was almost excited that I finished up the degree. So I went back to school. I took on probation classes, all of these police classes. And I also did nutritional health. This is what I was focusing on, and those are the classes that I took. But I'm gonna be honest with you. The plan that God had for me was much different. You couldn't go through with it. But I proved to myself that I can do it. I proved to myself that I could do it. And I did it for me. I did it. And I didn't even say it to anyone that I finished my degree. I didn't tell anyone that I finished it up. I didn't tell anyone I didn't want to continue to become an NYPD officer anymore. I just didn't do it. Psych exam, everything came back. My grades and everything were great. But that wasn't what I wanted to do. And one thing also that kept playing replay was that all my domestic violence phone calls. Hi, Demetria. Good night, sweetheart. All my domestic violence phone calls to the police department, they came back. Yeah. So you already know walking into a new career with this baggage over you, it does haunt you. So my NYPD career, I decided that I'm not going to continue with this because it was something hanging over my head. And I wanted to protect this person with everything in me, that even when they were caught out drinking alcohol out in the streets, I stood in front and took the blame for him, that it wasn't him that put the bottle down in the street. So when you're with these toxic people, you're going to try to do anything and everything to protect them, to do right by them. But in reality, someone who is pouring into you and is loving you, you're going to know you're never going to feel drained. It's never going to feel one-sided, and you're not going to feel depleted. It's okay to separate your emotions and your feelings in any situations. Allow people to carry their weight. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with stepping back. There's nothing wrong with walking away from things that does not serve you, that are unhealthy for you, that are toxic for you. It's okay to walk away from things like this. Do not be embarrassed. Do not be ashamed about anything. I'm sitting here as an example to let you guys know. Do not be ashamed of what you went through. I went through it. All them court tickets, all them domestic violence phone calls, and me throwing out all these cases after they would arrest them. I would drop the cases. It's a nightmare. It's a turmoil that you're living in. It's unhealthy. It's going to ruin your inside mentally. And it's going to take a lot of will, a lot of determination, a lot of hard work and discipline, consistency. It's no joke getting out of this thing. I was about 296 to be exact. I was 296 pounds. My stomach was reaching down to my thighs. And I'm not trying to disrespect people who are comfortable with this. Like, you have to do you. But I'm going to be honest with you. I was never that person to begin with. But my stomach was just about down to my thighs. It was so painful going through this. It was so painful. And I dealt with it. But guess what? I'm out. And this started back in 2018. Okay. So don't feel bad where you are in your journey. Don't feel bad for what you're doing right now. Do not feel bad because it's been 6 months, it's been 6 weeks, it's been 2 years. Do not let anyone rush you or rush your process. Each person has to go through this separately. Each person has to experience this for themselves. You are responsible for you, your journey, your destination, and where you are going. Listen, instead, one advice I would love to give you guys, and I'm not even going to wait for the end. I'm not going to wait for the end. One advice that I'm going to give you tonight: whatever you want to do, start speaking what you want and leave out what you don't want. Okay? If I could just give you one tip tonight, speak about the things that you want. So if you want an honest man, I want an honest man. I want a confident man. I want a confident man. I want a man who respects me, a man who fears God, a man who goes to God for direction, a man who is trustworthy, a man who I won't have sleepless nights with, a man who will not take my most vulnerable part of me to use it as a weapon to hurt me or abuse me. A man who is loving. I want a man who is patient. I want a man who is kind, a man who has integrity, a man of substance, a man of discipline, a man who understands family values, a man who understands the priority, a man who's ambitious. That's what your conversation and your prayers should look like. Not what you don't want. Because remember, whatever you focus on, that's what grows. So if you keep focusing on the past, the pain, the hurt, and the things that you've gone through with this narcissist, you'll continue to ruminate there. You'll continue to reminisce there, and you'll start to notice that it's going to be a part of your spiritual. You're going to start to notice that it's going to be in your thoughts, because remember, things that are in the spiritual manifest into the natural. So you're going to start to realize these things, and it takes time before you start recognizing and know the triggers, know the signs to look out for. Take your time. It's okay. Speak the things that you want. Remember, in the scriptures, it tells you, speak the things that are not as if they are. Speak it, even though it's not. Speak it as if it is, because that's what's going to flourish in your life. That's what's going to come to pass in your life. If this is the year that you want to accomplish something, speak it into your life. Speak it into existence. Speak it. Do it. Start making the steps necessary to do it. Take your time. And my girl Demetria said tonight, she said, you will gain weight being with these creatures. And I'm in the gym now. Listen, I know. I'm going to share with you guys one of these nights my picture. And I'm being realistic about it. I'm open about my journey. And you guys see that I'm very transparent on here with you about everything that I talk about. I'm not telling you nothing that I haven't gone through or the things that I do for myself. And I'm being very transparent. I'm going to share with you guys my weight loss, what I look like. Okay. And I continue to work on myself consistently because it's a part of your wellness, taking care of your health. So going to the gym should be a routine. And that's what I did. I incorporated it into my routine because before I met this narcissist, my coworkers and I working at the bank, we had a thing where every morning we had to be at the gym at 5:30 in the morning at the gym. And we had a jar where if you weren't at the gym at 5:30, you needed to put $5 into that jar. Okay. I was not giving nobody my money. Nope. So I showed up. Guess what? And when I was in high school, I was on the cheerleading squad. I was a cheerleader in high school. Hello. So yeah, that narc came in and ripped things out from underneath me. And every time I presented the divorce papers or things to sign the divorce or do things to get out, some way or shape, he would talk me out of it. And I would be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with him. The most embarrassing thing was when we moved to a diverse neighborhood. And being in this diverse neighborhood, we were the only people of color on the block. And it's only 6 houses on the block, including our house. And the police activity at the house was, yeah, the police knew me. They knew me. They saw me on the street. They knew me. They saw me in the gym. They knew me. But they were always concerned about my well-being because they clearly could see what was happening. But like the title says, how do you save someone that's in love with someone that does not love them? How do you save them? You just really got to be a support system. And whenever they get on the other side of things, they're going to remember that you were always there for them. They're going to remember that you were there to support them and to encourage them and to lift them up. They're going to remember that. They will never forget it. Just the same way I'm speaking about these officers, they will sit outside the house to check on me, to make sure that I was okay. It was that real, y'all. So when you see me sitting here, I'm not sitting here because I have an ulterior motive or something else up my sleeve. I'm sharing my business because I know how dangerous it is. I know how toxic, how unhealthy it is. And parenting don't prepare us for this. Our schools don't prepare us for this. I was not prepared to deal with people like this because society did not expose me to people like this. So going through school, I did not learn about toxic, unhealthy people, like to learn what to look out for. I didn't know. And my mom didn't teach me these things. And my dad died when I was 3. So how would I learn these things? I went through it. And here I am on the other side of things now saying that, I did a lot of things. I walk away from my beautiful home. And that is also something that I am going to share with you guys. My beautiful home, okay? Mine, not ours, mine. But guess what? Sometimes you have to walk away with your life, your peace to live to see another day. Vanity, material things, they can be replaced. Your soul, your life is not replaceable. You got one life to live. You got to cherish it and make the best of it. That's what I did for myself. I let go of everything because my peace was more important. My sanity was more important. Forget about this 2-parent household. Forget about that. I'm not worried about that anymore. My kids need at least one healthy parent. And that's what we need to recognize. At least give them one healthy parent so that they be strong and they know what to look out for. I don't bash him. I don't bash him at all. But my experience and my journey is what I experienced, and that's my journey. And I'm going to live in my truth. That's what I'm going to do. But instead, I educate my children on behaviors so they know behaviors and they could recognize who does what behavior. That's what I teach them is behaviors so they could learn traits, personality traits, and they could learn identity. This is what I want them to do, know their identity and be able to identify other people and recognize these spirits that are operating in different people. That's what I could do for my kids. And I tell them all the time, I'm not always going to be around, but while I'm here, I'm going to do my best to help you, to teach you, and to do as much as I can to leave you with some values, to leave you with some things that's going to help you in life and to take you on to your next journey. That's what I could do for you. I see Demetrius said here that he told me to lose 20 pounds postpartum, and now he's with some 5 times larger than me. I was super fit and in shape. You know why they do this? You know why they do this to you, to tell you to lose weight or to gain weight or to do some things? It's mental manipulation. Hi, Conita. Good night. Thank you, sis. The reason that they do this is mental manipulation, it's control. Because you're now emotionally upside down. But this is how they control your emotion. This is how they get you to do whatever they want because you're not really doing it for yourself. You're doing it to please them. So everything you do and the more you start doing it, you're doing it to please them. You're doing it because they said to do it. But what is it that Demetria want to do? What is it that you want to do? That's important. When you do it for you, you don't have to advertise your results. You don't have to advertise the things. Your results will speak for themselves. You don't have to advertise or market anything, but that's manipulation and control. And for him to be with someone else who's larger, 5 times larger than you, right? That's because they cannot get no better supply than you. That's what it is. They have drained you, taken all your energy and left you depleted, but still didn't use the energy that they took from you to do something good with it. So now they're with someone who's in worse shape, worse condition than you. That's because they can't pull down anything else. They don't have that swag or that stamina to pull down. You are the best thing that happened to them. That's why they did what they did, to break you down. That's why they're telling you lose weight, gain weight, and playing with your emotion, because it's emotional manipulation and it's trying to get you emotionally wrapped up so they could control your feelings. And they're the ones in control of regulating your feelings. That's the reason a narcissist does this, because they have low self-esteem. They do not have any value. They don't have any sense of direction. They cannot lead. And that's why in the Bible, in the scriptures, it tells you about the qualities of a good man, the qualities of a good woman. The qualities are different because remember, a narcissist is not a person who can lead. They're not leader qualities. They might pretend to be, but when you know the true meaning of a leader, a king that sits on his throne is going to protect his people, is going to do right by his people. If someone from the outside comes in and trying to hurt his people, this king is going to make sure that his people are protected. Narcissists don't do that. They're selfish. They're just for themselves. Leader qualities is what you look for in a man, the qualities. You don't go around telling a man what to do and how to do it and what. Observe him, pay attention, and you'll learn these things for yourself. You're okay. You're doing just fine. You'll be just fine. Okay? Nothing to stress your head about. These men, they're not leaders. So they're not standing tall. They're not pulling down some strong body woman, some quality woman. They're not, because they prey on people who have low self-esteem. Their targets are people with low self-esteem. And if you remember, at some point in time, you were a victim as well too. You once had low self-esteem. You once were suffering with different traumas. You once were suffering with your identity crisis. And these are some of the things that the narcissists prey on, because once they recognize that you are in this vulnerable position, they come in to manipulate you, and that's what they do. All this thing talking about lose weight here and lose weight there and gain weight here and doing all these things, it's just mental manipulation to control you. And once they can control you, then they could hurt you exactly how they want to hurt you. They're going to hurt you. They go in and out of there the time that they hurt you. And that's what they do. Focus on you. Focus on your mission. Focus on your dreams. Focus on the things that you want to do. If you haven't done so already, get a planner, get a book, start writing, start journaling, start documenting the things that are important to you, and get back on track. Get back in shape. Get back doing the things that you love to do. Start doing these things because it is important and it is necessary. The narcissist took a lot out of you. The narcissist took a lot away from you. The more you can find time to love you and to focus on the things that are most important for you or to you, is the better you're going to become, because that's the start of you rebuilding your self-esteem. It wasn't until 2020. Remember, I told you guys this started in 2018. It wasn't until 2020. That's when I started to really see a shift in my self-esteem and the boost in my self-esteem. And I had to start going really deep. I had to start meditating. I had to get to know who I am. I didn't know the things. I didn't know my intuition worked. I didn't know that. I didn't know I had the spirit of discernment. I didn't know these things. I would hear people talking about them all the time. And I would be like, uh, can I get some discernment? Like, I was waiting for it to drop somewhere to give to me. That's not how it works. Mm-mm. I had to learn. You learn. And once you start learning these things, you don't put a label on everybody. You don't say that everybody is a narcissist or everybody is this or everybody is that. You don't do that. You don't, because you operate in the spirit of discernment, and you use that to help you to recognize people and take them for who they are. And you're never in a rush. Narcissists are always in a rush to see how they could hurt you, how they could abuse you, how they could manipulate you. This journey started to really get out 2018. And it wasn't until 2020 when I came home to see this man having a gun in the house and a bottle of alcohol, a bottle of vodka on the table with a gun. So it was a gun, a bottle of vodka, and his car keys on the table. And he wasn't near it. So I started taking pictures of it because I was just shocked. I didn't know what to do. But I was already so numb that I didn't have feelings at this point. So I didn't even know how to feel. I didn't want to run. I didn't want to panic. I didn't want to make any sudden move because my life obviously was dependent on it, and I had my kids to protect. My kids didn't get off the school bus as yet. So I was home before them, surprisingly. And when I started looking to see where he was actually downstairs towards the backyard outside, smoking his stuff. So do you guys see, or can you visualize this scenery? If I had walked in and said the wrong thing, just saying the wrong thing. So what you thought I did? I went downstairs to the basement where my office was, and I actually peeped outside because I act like I didn't see it. And I peeped outside and I said, "Hey, what's up? How you doing? I'm home." That's just how our relationship was. "Hey, how are you? Hi." That's nasty, y'all. That's not love. When y'all just in the same house, like, hey, you, huh? Feel like speaking today, don't feel like, that's nasty. That's a waste of your time. That's not what it looks like. I went and sat in my office and I started to do my school work because I'm in school. And I did my school work and act like nothing was happening. He was like, "So what's going on?" I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm cool." Uh, but mind you, my wheels are spinning, but I had to remain calm because I knew any sudden move I made, I didn't know what the next move was going to be. So I had to remain calm. By the time I went upstairs, it was gone. It was gone. I had a conversation with him and I said to him, "What was that?" He's like, "What? What are you talking about?" You see what they do, right? "What? What are you talking about?" I said, really? Oh, that's just oh, now he knows what I'm talking about. Oh, that's just a toy. It's just a toy. It's not real. It's a BB thing. It's a BB thing. I was like, oh, okay. But I knew I just had to let him think that I believe it, you know? Because when I started this healing journey, it took some time to get where I was going. So I had to let him think I believed him. Okay, whatever. All right, and let it go. Grab my kids the night. Grabbed my kids, packed up, drove down to North Carolina. I was out. So a lot of times you're going through these situations and you don't think there's a way out. Sometimes you get put in positions to get out, and you have to make that move and get out. Walk away from people that don't serve you no good. Walk away from people that are unhealthy, that are toxic. Walk away from people whose intention is to tear you down, is to break you down. Walk away from people who are looking to hurt you. Walk away from people who are looking to see you fail. Walk away from people who wishes bad on you. Walk away from people who only wants to use you and abuse you, manipulate you and mistreat you. Walk away from people who decide what your next meal is going to be. No one should have that level of control over you. They don't own you. No. Walk away from these people who are hurting you. You know what hurt looks like, but you've been addicted to it for so long. You've been addicted to this thing for so long that you don't recognize healthy. But let me tell you something, and I'm going to be so honest with you. If you think If you think that going through this healing process is hard, or walking away from the narcissist is hard, let me tell you something. It's even harder when you're walking in healthiness, when you're walking in your boldness, when you're walking in your confidence, when you're walking in your self-worth and your authority and you've bossed up. It's even harder. But it's harder in a good way because the discipline that you've put into it, the level of work that you've put in, and you know the level of work that you put into recovering. So you're not going to just walk away, and you're just not going to allow someone to walk into your life to hurt you. You won't do that. Now, when you've put in so much work to make yourself better, you now value yourself. You now believe in who you are. You now have confidence, and you have boosted your self-esteem. And now you're operating in awareness. So that's what's important, is to be aware of the things that you've gone through, to be aware of the things that you've experienced, to learn red flags and to understand things that are toxic, unhealthy for you. So when the next person come around, because just like in the scripture says, when put on the whole armor of God, so that when the enemy comes, not if he comes, it's not an if. He's certain to come. So you got to be prepared. You have to be ready to deal with this thing when it comes. It's the same thing. You have to be walking in your confidence, know the red flags and the signs to look out for, so that when this thing shows up again, you know how to handle it. Because it's not a matter of being ashamed of what you went through or if something is going to happen. It's how you handle it. That's what makes the difference, how you handle stuff. So the more you learn how to overcome these things, how to handle them, how to recognize them when they come around, is the stronger you become. Your strength is already there within you, but fear has allowed you to stay. Fear have kept you bound for so long. The unknown of what's on the other side. You don't know what's on the other side of this. But because you know what's on this side over here, Ephesians 6, thank you, sweetheart. Because you know what's on this side over here, you stay. You stay because it's comfortable. You stay because you find comfort here, and change is hard. But you have to start learning how to become uncomfortable so that you can become comfortable. So you have to be uncomfortable if you want to become comfortable. Okay. And it's going to take some time. Don't rush the process. Don't let anyone rush your process for you. This is your mission. This is your destination. This is your journey. You write it how you want to. You determine what's going to take place. What's the next outcome of everything? You have the final say in what goes on in your life. Do not give this person no more time, no more access to you. Take back your power. You have given them access to the most vulnerable part of you, and that's your control. That's your emotions. That's what controls you, is your emotions. That's the control you gave them. Take back your power. You're able to make decisions. You're able to do things. You were doing it before they came around. Before they came around, you were doing it. Take back your power. Take back your authority. Walk in your confidence. Walk in your authority. Walk in the gift that is for you. Change your verbiage. This is what's happening. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing this. I will. I am. I'm becoming. I'm doing. It's happening. Speak life into your life. Speak positivity into your life. Don't be in a competition with anybody else to see what the next person is doing. Focus on you, your dreams, your destination, and your heart's desire. You are worth so much more. You are so valuable, and you are very important. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. When I talk about love and appreciation, I just can't help it. I'll just be smiling and cheesing away, okay? I just can't help it because I really do appreciate you guys. I love you so much. I know that you guys are taking time from your day, from whatever you're doing, to spend time to hang out with me, even if it's just for an hour, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes, whatever of your time you give to me, even if you watch this back at a later time. It's okay. I appreciate you guys' time so much, and I look forward to having you guys here with me every Friday nights right here on Healing Your Silence, checking out some of the things that we have going on the channel. I so appreciate you guys. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you're new, welcome to the Healing Your Silence family, and thank you guys so much for my supporters who have continuously been here with me. We are over the 500 mark, guys. We're at about 513 subscribers, and it's due to you. So a special thank you to all you guys for constantly showing me love and supporting me, and just being here as a nice support system to keep me going. I so appreciate you guys so, so much. Listen, I've been working on quite a few things, okay? Trying my best because I know what love is and I know what the support is, right? So for me, I decided to find a way how we can help each other. I can help whatever knowledge, information, resources, whatever I can. And I know you guys are like, okay, how can we support you, sis? Or how can we, try to meet you somewhere, like help you? Listen what I did, right? So I'm gonna show you guys, okay? So this is what I have going on. And this color is a pink. So I have different colors, and I'm definitely gonna share them with you guys. I love it. I don't know if I'll be able to stand up because I'm in the studio, y'all. I'm gonna see if I can show y'all the pants so you can see what it looks like. So see, this chip, right? It has a nice little logo right here, comfy. And it sits, just like super comfortable. Super duper comfortable, okay? So I wanted to share that with you guys, that this is something that I started doing and I love it. It's been keeping me real busy, real busy. I have a lot of orders going out, and they're going out. If you want to get you one, I have different colors, and I'll try to finish it up by this weekend to put them up on the link. I'll try to put a link in the description box below, but if you want to take it down, you can follow me on Instagram. It's in my link tree on my Instagram page. It's the first tab, the very first tab that says Healing Your Silence. That's where you'll find them on the website. And listen, send me a DM if you're on Instagram. Let me know that you came from my YouTube channel or wherever you came from, and I'll send you a coupon code so you could put in to get a discount, okay? Don't be intimidated. Go ahead, shoot me a DM or send me a message, send me an email, healingyoursilence@gmail.com, or you can even text me at 516-770-8697, and I'll send you a coupon code so you could go in and get your discount, okay? So listen, guys, I appreciate you guys again. It's the same name, same spelling, Healing Your Silence on Instagram, Healing Your Silence on TikTok, and they're both in my link tree. I'm also going to bring the link over here to YouTube. Just give me until about in the week, I'll have it ready by then. In the meantime, Check out your girl, support your girl, whatever way you can. It's absolutely appreciated. And I so look forward to seeing you guys next week. I'm going to try to bring on a special guest next week and have, because you know what? I want you guys to see people who are doing it. That's what I want to do. I want to give back to people who are doing something. They've gone through some storms. They've gone through some heartbreaks. They've gone through the things that we're going through. But to watch them boss up, to watch them overcome this thing, to watch them become more confident, to watch them do things, that's encouraging on its own. I look at it and I'm like, if they can do it, I could do it too. I'm very capable of doing these things. See, that's one of my queens in the room right here, right now. Hey, Cola. Love you, girl. Cola is in the room, and she's also one of my clients. And I'm gonna put her on the spot because her favorite color is the green, y'all. She loves the green, and it's pretty, okay? But listen, guys, I'm going to go ahead and put all the information in on my website. Not on my website because I think it's a little bit easier when you go right on to my link tree. The colors and everything will be posted up right there. And like I said, DM me so I could get your coupon code so you don't have to pay the price that's on the website, okay? And especially Valentine's Day is coming. So you know I'm gonna make sure that the colors are out so you guys can get you one. Get you one, yeah, come get you one of these. Right? So you could get you one to go out and do your thing, would have a good night out. And like I said, it's a nice comfy outfit, top and bottom. It's a set together. You want to get you one of these. As you can see how I'm sitting here, super comfortable and very chill. Listen, if you have a friend that's struggling or having a hard time going through what they're going through and they need help, the best thing you could do for them is be a support system. Okay. Be a support system for them and just give them a word of encouragement because you can't change people. They have to want to change. You can't save anyone. They have to. God is the only person who could save anybody. We can't save anybody, really. We could just give them encouragement and point them in the right direction and help them to understand what they're dealing with so they can make better choices, healthier choices, and better decisions. That's all we could really do if you really think about it. God is the only one who could save anyone. We can't do it. So if you do have a friend that needs saving, remember this. They have to get through that point of being sick and tired of something to want to leave, to want to make a change. And sometimes the sacrifice is it's so real. It's so detrimental. Okay. I remember calling so many of my girlfriends and talking to them about what I was going through until they became sick and tired of hearing about it. That's how you know how real it is. They became tired of hearing about it. So I just became redundant and repetitive to them. That's all it was. I was no longer adding value in our conversations anymore. So our relationship shifted. Think about it, y'all. How many times are you having the same conversation about the level of abuse that you're enduring? Because what you're doing, you're numbing yourself. You're removing your feelings. You're removing your intuition. And you're inviting this person to continuously take control over your life. Think about what you're doing. The more you numb yourself and you accept abuse, you accept disrespect, you accept someone not validating you, you accept someone not loving you, is the more you become numb and your tolerance level for pain has increased. Because each time when this person hurts you, your tolerance level increased because now you've overcome that obstacle. You've jumped that hurdle. So now I could take on what's next. Okay, that was hard. Okay. Brush my shoulders off and I could take on the next hurdle. That means they know it's working because they're numbing you and you're continuously forgiving them, not recognizing the reality of what's happening. This person did not choose you. They don't love you because they've recognized that you don't love yourself. They don't know what's going on with you. They don't know what's going on with you because you don't know what's going on with you. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, y'all. But I really, really, really want you guys to take a moment and start valuing yourself. Start finding your worth. Taking the time, taking the time. Just take your time. Just take your time. I didn't know I was gonna get out of this thing. I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know. But we never know. Don't let fear prevent you from doing what you need to do. Don't let fear point you in the wrong direction. Don't let fear be the driving force why you don't go forward. Don't let fear take over who you are, your identity. No, fear is not the boss of you. Fear is a limitation of the things unknown. Fear is a limitation. And fear is also false things that are appearing to be real. Okay? They're false, fake stuff. They're appearing to be real. That's all it is. That's it. False appearing to be real. Thank you, Cola. I love you too, sweetie. Thank you, my love. I appreciate it. You know what? It's love. It's love. I really enjoy it. I really do. It feels like second nature. Hey, Miss P, don't worry, my love. You are never too late. Okay, sweetheart? Yes, I'm putting you on the spot. I love you, P. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I so appreciate you so, so much. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. I won't keep you guys much longer because I know my brother Hario is on the other side, and I already know he started a few minutes ago. So I definitely want to go over. I know he's done a lot of things already, so I definitely want to go over. Guys, if you haven't already, check out my brother Hario over the top, y'all. Check out his page. He's my bigger brother. Okay, he don't know this yet. I never told him this yet before, right? But I have him as a bigger brother because he really helped me at a time when I needed it. He was there to help me at a time when I needed it. And that's why I extend this to you guys to let you know that do not be ashamed of whatever you're going through and whatever you experience. Take the help, reach out to these experts like myself, like reach out to professionals, get the help. Just like going through rehab, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just that you know what's important to you. You know that you've done everything that you can and you're at a breaking point and you can't continue. Continue to do the best that you can do. Do not beat yourself up for the things that you can't change. And what you went through, if God told you that this was going to be your path, what would you say to him? Oh, I'm not taking that path. I'm going another direction. I'm going another direction. I'm not going that way. If he had told you already, right, that this was going to happen, this is what you're going to face, and this was what you're going to experience, would you have gone still? No. So be grateful. A lot of them didn't make it out alive. And my condolences to everyone who didn't make it out alive. But we're here. That means we still have work to do. We still have a mission to take care of. We still got things to do. We got unfinished business to take care of. Let's get to it. Have an amazing night, my love. I love you guys all so much. Don't forget, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys here right back on Healing Your Silence next week. Friday, again, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll go ahead and throw my hearts in the chat so you guys know I do love you, value you, and appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have an amazing night. Be safe. Have an amazing night and be safe. Thank you guys so much. Love you, love you, love you loads. Love you, love you, love you. See, I sent my love to you guys out here, okay? Good night, y'all. Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. Good night, good night. Good night, y'all. Good night, good night. Mwah. Harry, I'm coming to come check you out right now, brother. Have an amazing night, y'all. Good night, good night, good night. Guess what, guys? Whoever is still here, I don't know if you guys are still here, but guess what I'm going to do right now? A photo shoot. Yes, so my makeup is done already, right? And my outfit. So I gotta go do a photo shoot so I can put it up on the website. So if you see me in the pink, because this is the pink, y'all, it's so pretty. If y'all see me in the pink, okay, then you know you got a back behind the scene, you got a heads up on behind the scenes, so you know what it was like before I went and did my photo shoot. So it's time I'm gonna go hit the cameras right now, y'all. Because as you know, gotta do what we gotta do. Okay. I love you all so much. Good night.